All right, all right. Good morning. Welcome back to the Corbellic Studios. Today we're going to be doing another live stream painting where we're going to be knocking out some paintings in an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm happy that you're here. Hope that you had a good weekend. I know that I had a good weekend being productive. Look, we're always being productive. We always got so much going on. It was a really great productive weekend. I had some one-on-one coaching with different members, helping them out with their store, also doing some one-on-one coaching, helping people out with their painting. So it was a really cool weekend. I got a lot of work done, but there's always work to be done. That's the thing as well too. I want you to always be productive, getting things done. Always looking at your calendar, always making sure that you're accountable in your day, always making sure that you are showing up. But you were back here this morning. You were back here to the greatest live stream, the greatest art show, the greatest inspiration, motivation, mindset that we got for you. Look, we're the degenerates, right? We're the misfits. We're the outsiders. All right. Look, we're the renegades of the art world. All right. To the gallery world. We're all of those things where we're not painting beautiful polar bear hairs. All right. Where we're spending 100,000 hours into making sure that we get the right skin complexion down. No, we're getting artwork done. We're moving on to the next one, and that's how we're progressing. That's how we're getting better in our art style. That's how we are moving on to the next piece, and that's how we're making the money. We're not. I don't want to say, oh, we're not taking it serious, but we're not taking it serious. That way we can really get on with it. Some people get offended. Oh my God, you're not taking art so serious? You're not taking art serious? Then you're not an artist if you're not taking art so serious. You should make sure that you go to sleep at night with different paintings underneath your pillow. No, we don't do all of that over here. All right. Like I said, we're the degenerates, we're the misfits, we're the outsiders of the art world, but also we're the new wave. All right. We have the new ride, we have the new vibes. We're the new wave of the art world. You can keep all that stuff all you want to, but deep down inside, you're broke. You're broke. You're not making no money. You're not making any sales. And guess what? We already have more collectors than you. Look, if some of my members are starting off and it's only been 30 days or so, maybe they're building up their snowball effect. But guess what? They have more collectors than you do. They have more collectors than you. They have more followers than you. People who are actually buying their stuff with warm credit cards. They have more resellers than you. You go to an art fair, you go to something like that, or if you're a gallery artist, you don't even have a reseller. So you don't even have people who want to buy your artwork for years on end, where they're just collecting multiples. Let me tell you, I've kept some of the same resellers for years. They paid my bills. They paid they paid my career. They helped me invest back into myself. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this episode: is how to invest back into yourself, why it's important to invest back into yourself, how to be frugal, how to go about your business anytime that you do make money, and just different ways of ideas of how you could be thinking about how you want to progress your career. How do you want to progress your exit? Because you got to have an exit. If you don't have an exit, or if you don't have something that you're progressing to, then what are you doing it for? You're lying to yourself. All right. Look, they already robbed enough time from us. They already took everything else from us, from money, from the mortgages, from either our life or our work, or this different things that don't matter. So this is why I made this. So it's important for you to get your time back. So it's important for you to get your life back and bring things back. All right. So that's what we're here for this morning, Monday morning. Happy everybody's here. Let's see who we have in the community right now. Let's see what's going on. Sally Mae, Bless Studio, Sharon, Discerning Light, Queen. All right, we got the whole gang here. So we're ready to rock and roll right now. Let's see here. Hey, what's going on, Sharon? Let's find out. I'm going to buy an apron this week. That is so true. Buy an apron for yourself. You're going to feel good, and you're going to feel more confident how you're creating artwork, because then you're just not going to ruin all your clothes. I ruin all my clothes that I wear. So it's like I always get paint on it. So there was a phase of my life as well, too, where I do the apron. But now I'm kind of at the phase where I know how to keep it clean if I want to. But I also went through a phase where I was always wiping the paint on myself, and I would just dry it off. It was just easier. But then it got to a point where I was looking at my closet, and then I was like, dang, I don't have any clothes. I gotta buy new clothes because all my clothes got paint on it. It's just one of those things. All right. Taurus is here. Had to check on your mom. Got to check on moms. All right. All right. I think we're good. We're ready to rock and roll. So let's do our first painting right now, which is going to be a doggy. It's going to be a doggy. It's going to be a doggy. Let's see here. Let me raise it a little bit. We're we're on a 14 by 11 right now, and then the next painting that we're going to do is going to be a 16 by 20. I'm feeling pretty 16 by 20 today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Lee. Let's see here. From all in the snowland. All right, morning. Ready to rock and roll. Oh, I forgot. It's a messy painter. I forgot. I gotta load up on my palette a little bit. Don't ask me when you're going to be able to see the palette. If I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. Besides, I have so many videos anyways of where I show you how I load up my palette. It's all the same. You don't actually need to really see me do the day-to-day on the palette, because then you're going to have paralysis by analysis. You need to do your own thing. What works for you works for you. Sometimes too much information is too much information. I'm telling you, and I'm noticing these things. I'm noticing these things when coaching. Sometimes too much information is too much information, and then it gets you locked into an idea of too much permission. Too much information is too much information. It can be a bad thing. I don't know what I'm doing. What part of that don't you understand? What part of that don't you understand that I don't know what I'm doing? All right, this is my guilty pleasure when it's like time to cash out the paint, and I put that knife underneath there, right? And I go, pop goes the weasel. Oh, I love that. Now I can just roll this bad boy up and put it in there. Whatever color that I grab from here is what color that I grab from here. So it's like, I need to see how you load up your paintbrush. I need to see it. I need to see the water on the brush. I need it. Why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the color that you use. I don't know what I'm doing. I started doing stuff like that. You think it's going to be art school? Oh, okay. Let me slow the frame down. Okay. He's using that color and then he's mixing it with that color. I'll do it just like that. He knows what he's doing. No, I don't. Look at this. Pop goes the weasel. Visual ASMR. Uh-huh. You are watching me create. You're watching me create on the canvas. I don't want to have to get a whole nother tripod. I don't want to have to get a whole nother tripod out and then buy a whole nother camera just so I can put it on top of the whole thing kind of situation. I'm a lazy artist. Watch me create right here. Exactly. That's what it looks like, Sharon. My palette, Sharon says, if your palette looks like a little kid's, then you're doing it right. That's what it looks like. It looks like a mess. It looks like a little kid. It's a mess. And that's what it's supposed to be. Like that way, it's like, who cares on the color? I mean, I still have the color format where they're still always the same, but it's just a mess, really. And that's fine. That's what it is. It is what it is. That way, I just go into the color. I don't take it serious. All right, let's see here. The best art club. Hey, would you say your size 16 by 20 made you the most money in your time selling 17,000 paintings? Would I say that? Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. Let's see here. Sally Mae says, well, I'm disappointed. I thought you were going to put up the palette cam. Huh. Sally Mae, drop me some super chats every single live stream, and then you could pay for my setup cam, and then I'll do it for you. Let's see here. My hubs gifted me an acrylic markers. Yeah, those acrylic markers are the best. Having a blast with those. Because you could go in and out on the acrylic. You inspire me a lot, says Kostaswitz. I always butcher names. I'm sorry about that. I appreciate you. Blessed Art Studio says, ha ha ha. You know what I'm talking about. Insert Tom Cruise. Or what was it? Maybe it's not Tom Cruise from Jerry Maguire. Maybe it's the other dude where he was like, no, it is Tom Cruise. Show me the money. Show me the money. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let me turn this light off here. I'm going to start at the top with a light brown, and then I'm going to go to the other half with a light blue, because why not? I don't know what I'm doing, so it doesn't matter what colors that I choose and all that. I'm curious. The Best Art Club says, I'm curious what size is the most popular and selling. Join the eBay art community. The link is in the community, or it's in the chats. It's pinned to the top. Join the community, and you can find all this information out. Exactly, Brenda. Show me the money. All right, we're just going to dry this off right now. And this is going to be so cute when we're done. Watch how cute this is going to be. I'm already excited about the next painting. I'm excited about this painting, but I'm also excited about the next painting because I know that the next painting, I'm going to do it on a 16 by 20 cubism kind of woman. And those, I get to really do what I want. I get to do what I want on any painting. You know how I am, but I get to do what I get to choose any color palette or anything that I want and just go off the cubism. And those paintings always do well. They always sell well. Sally Mae said, this is going to take a while. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Sally Mae. Let me put a heart on there. Thank you. We could get there. We could get there together. We could get there together. Or I'll meet you halfway. But at least that you're contributing towards the production and the request of things that you want. That really goes a long way. I appreciate you. If you haven't already in this video, please leave a like, leave me a super chat. Let me know that you appreciate the gems that we're going to be dropping in here, the hard work that I do on here to get everything set up. Let me know that you appreciate this. Leave the likes in there. Give me some super chats. Support your favorite artist. Support your favorite starving artist. All right. So on this one, I'm just going to go quick onto a 1-inch brush, and I'm just going to do the dark angles right real quick. And then that way we're going to layer up and put the color on top of it. You know how we do. I don't like to spin the pencil and do all the, that just takes too long. Sometimes when I look back on how I used to paint, I'm like, oh, I cringe myself. And you'll get like that too. Like you'll see how much you improve through the months, through the years. Like when you look back at your early eBay stuff, you're going to be surprised that people even bought it at all. When I look back on some of my eBay stuff, I'm like, dang, how did people even buy this stuff? It looks so trash. But they were buying it, and I was able to make a career off of it, which is crazy. So that's how I know it's like I believe in my system so much, because I coach so many people before having my community, but not only that, just years ago when I first started like being on eBay and putting myself out there, and I was trying different styles. So I had my style already, but I was trying different styles. And when I was doing it, they would sell but they were ugly, man. They were ugly. And that's just how the game is. It doesn't matter. It's like the ugly stuff will sell because there's a buyer for everybody out there. I always stress this: whenever you're selling to a customer or to a collector or anything like that, never point out the flaws of what you know in the art, because you're the artist. So you can find things that you don't like about it or things that you feel like is the flaw. Never say, "Oh, this corner right here I messed up because of that," or "Oh, I don't like that part." Never point out areas that you feel like is the mistake or anything, because they don't know it. They can't see it with their eye, but you can see it because you're the artist and you're nitpicking yourself. So never ever do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're smart enough not to do that, but I'm just putting a disclaimer out there for some people who want to be chatty patty, because sometimes there's people who talk too much. All right. Don't ruin a sale for yourself by talking too much. That's another thing about sales as well, too. We're in sales. Don't ruin a sale by talking too much. Sometimes y'all be wanting to talk too much, and you ruin a sale. You can ruin relationships by just chatting too much. You're either it's a nervous mechanism, or you think that like you want to be friendly. Don't be too friendly. You can ruin a sale. Divulging too much information that you shouldn't do, and then people looking at you like, they get in the car with their husband and wife and like, did you hear what that person said in there? They're not going to tell you that to your face. They're just going to think you're a weirdo behind your back. Did you hear what they said? They talk too much. Clayton Brewer says, bro, what is the name of the adapter that you're using for your projector? I can't get my Pensiva projector to connect. Send me a message in the elite community. The link is right there in the chat. Send me a message on there and I'll send it to you. The whole list is on there. It's all there for you. Let's see what else we got here. Learn to see the brand. Learn to see with brand new eyes on command. That's my biggest flex nowadays. Yep. Let's see here. Sharon says that happens a lot when your self-esteem is down and you're used to not accepting compliments. That's so true. Clayton says, thanks, my guy. I got you. You're in well hands. You're in the best community. So today what we're going to be talking about is investing back into yourself, into your brand, into your business. Because I know it might sound like such a weird thing, especially when you're just starting off on this, or even to some people, it sounds kind of like an icky thing. But you're your own business. We are business owners, and once you put that into your brain, you're going to have more control over your business, and you're going to be more proactive and do things appropriately. We're more so in control of our brand and our business than most other artists, because most other artists, they're looking for the gallery or another brand to do the marketing, to do the work for them. But us, we are doing the work for ourselves. We are our own business more than most artists are. So you have to put that into your mind that you are your own brand, you are your own business. And when it comes to reinvesting in yourself, I'm talking about as soon as you start getting those sales in, I know, I know that you want to splurge on yourself a little bit. We all do. You know, we all be like, oh man, I deserve this. I work so hard. But if you don't reinvest back into yourself, you're going to ruin what you worked so hard for. And it can happen very easily. It can happen very easily. And I had to learn this as well. It took me years to learn this. That's why in the course, I also have I have the budgeting course in there where you can have a budgeting sheet to how to budget your expenses on there. If you don't know where it's at, just go to the very top search bar and just type in budget. And then you can go to the classroom tab and it's going to show you the budgeting in there. It's important because once you make a certain amount of money, you can get lost in what's for bills or what's for recreation. Or for me, I look at it like it's all towards the business because I hate the feeling of not having canvases on standby. So I'm always, even if I feel like I have enough canvases, I'm always ordering canvases because that's the money. That's the money. We can't slow that down. Once you slow that down, if you slow down the reinvestment of yourself and your brand, you're going to get to a point where you're like, I'm waiting on these canvases to come and I don't know what to do. I'm stalled out. I'm waiting for the thing. You don't want to put yourself in these situations. I'm not judging. Look, I've been in this situation more than anybody. Anytime that I'm like, it seems like I'm talking shit, or if I'm saying something, always just remember that I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to my past self who's I'm making fun of my past self, but I'm talking to my past self. I'm talking to my past self and talking to my future self is what I always say. So never take anything that I say personal. I'm just coming as a standpoint as a good coach because I've been in these situations more than you ever could. And it's best to always invest back into yourself. Whatever your little profit point is, always pay yourself first, of course. Pay yourself first, where it could be $20, it could be $30, it could be $50. It doesn't matter what it is. Always pay yourself first before you pay your bills and before you even invest in the back into the business, which is the canvases and the paint. Pay yourself first. It doesn't matter how much it is, 20, 50, $100. Try to make sure it's at least $100. What it's going to do for you psychologically is going to give you a boost of frequency. I teach this in financial coaching as well. Because, like I said, I've had over 47 different temp jobs in my life, right? And I was a financial advisor. So I'm still kind of like a financial advisor for different people where I coach on money and mindset. And the thing that I always talk about is pay yourself first, even if it's $100. Because if you have $100 tucked away, the first principle that I say is tuck away $100, then $100, then at least make sure that you at least have $1,000 tucked away somewhere. Because what it's going to do for you, it's going to bring you in more money. Remember, we always talk about how the rich get richer is not because, the world's not fair and they give them everything, which is also true. But the real psychology of how the rich get richer is because their frequency is that they already have. They're in a mindset. They're in a frequency of abundance. So don't put yourself in a frequency where you don't have and you're on your last dollar or you didn't save anything. It's easy for us to all save stuff because in this day and age, you go out to lunch. Lunch is $20. Lunch is $30. It all adds up. You could save up and have $100. Then do it again and flip it. Make sure that you at least have $1,000. If you have $1,000 to the side in just somewhere hidden, then you will become rich. You will become rich because the money will continue to flow to you. It's a psychological thing. Trust me, I do this. Put the $1,000 to the side. It's just there. It's not even a savings. It's worse than a savings. It's something that you'll never touch. Sometimes we say, "Oh, we have a savings," but sometimes we touch the savings. All right. This is not something that you'll never touch, but it's there. It's there in case someone dies or something, a situation like that. But what it's going to do for you, it's going to give you a psychological boost. Now, I'm just talking about a starter pack of $1,000, but you can also carry this practice on more because that's what will happen. You'll get more addicted into saving money. You'll get more addicted into reinvesting back into yourself. You'll get more addicted, and then you become more disciplined. And then what's going to happen when you become more disciplined with this whole practice, you'll become more disciplined in your business. And you'll notice that the money is going to start gravitating towards you because you're in a mindset of abundance. At least you already have instead of that you don't have. And the reason that you have is because you at least started with the first practice of abundance is of at least having $100, then $1,000 on standby. Then after that, try to have a $5,000 on standby that you'll never touch. Don't even look at it. Don't even consider it like, oh, that's my savings. No, it's worse than a savings. It's something that you'll never touch, and then you'll start to get rich. Money only comes to you when you're in a state of abundance and you already have. Let's see here. Lee says, I was shorthanded with canvases this whole week. I'm waiting for the order, and it really messed up my psychology and sense of freedom of painting. Yep, I told you. I told you. I appreciate you leaving that comment in there. See, that's real. That is so real. I appreciate you, Lee. Thank you. Because it is a psychology, right? And these are things that you would never know, right? Unless you're in the game. You would never know that unless you're in the game. And these lessons that you're finding out now. These are lessons that people who went to art school and they spent $100,000 on their art career. These are things that they don't even understand, and they won't get to a point to in their career. And you already understand it, and you understand it earlier than they would. They would spend 4 to 5 years to go to their school, and then another 4 to 5 years just to learn this lesson that you already learned in just this brief amount of time. The psychology of it. And that's the one thing I talk about having an abundance, because what it does is it messes up your psychology when you're not. See, that's a great point. That's a great segue. The reason why we talk about that as well is about investing back into yourself as well, is that way you can have an abundance mindset where um you're able to create more freely. Because the more canvases that you have on standby, the more paint that you have, the more that you're confident, the more that you're loose in your decisions and in your choices of how you're creating artwork. You're not coming from a point of scarcity. When you come from a point of scarcity and you're like, damn, I only have 5 canvases left. When you come in that mindset where you only have a short amount of number of canvases available or something like that, naturally, it's your mind is going to want to make those canvases Mona Lisas, because that's all you have left. So you're going to try to make the money work. You're like, I'm not going to paint. I'm not going to test the market and paint whatever I want on those. I need to make sure those are perfect. And then those paintings won't be perfect. It messes up your whole mindset. You have to invest back into yourself, because it'll throw off your psychology. But not only that, it will throw off your calendar, because you have to be consistent. You know what I'm talking about. I think I'm ready to quit. I think I'm ready to hang it up on this one. Like, this is already looking good for me. I like it. It's like simple as, yeah, simple is best a lot. Like, I don't have to do more on this doggy. It's beautiful. I'm cool. I'm ready to go on to the next one, to be honest with you. So let me turn the light on. Let me add a little bit more glint in his eye or her eye from the white. Boom. Maybe I'll throw in a little bit of white whiskers. So you have to invest back into yourself. And so after you pay yourself first, you have to invest back into yourself, because it goes quick. And you think, and there's going to be times where your brain's going to play tricks on you where it's like, oh, I don't need to. Oh, I got enough supplies. Oh, I don't need to. No, you need to, because it goes by quick. But it's also to give you a psychological boost for the next week. Like me, if I know that I'm prepared for the next week, like I need, like, and then the thing is this. I'm gonna tell you why you need to invest in yourself, and you're gonna get to this point. This is a gym. This is a free gym right there for those who aren't part of the elite. But I'm gonna give a free gym right now. The reason why it's important, because when you put in the bulk order of the canvases, it takes how long? It takes an average of a week. It takes an average of a week to less than a week. And then sometimes you might have a rare situation where there might be a supply chain situation in the country, and it's taking them longer to get that order. Sometimes they have to refill the order by shipping your order from a different distribution plant from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and then it takes longer to get to your location. So I always account in my mind that it's going to take at least 7 days from the time that I place the order to the time that the order is going to come to me. So by that time, I'm out 7 days, right? I got to wait 7 days for me to get this bulk order to come. I can't do that. I need to also be prepared when I'm waiting. So I'll make sure that I at least have 2 weeks in store. But you can only get there once you get the sales and you flip up. I never tell people to expect and to work like this when you're starting off, because these are business expenses. But once you start having a little bit of the sales come in, it's going to take you a while to really start getting your profits points, because you're flipping it back into the business. You're flipping it back into buying more canvases. And then you get the money. Look at this. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? Look at that doggy right there. Huh? Look at that. We did this together. We did it in such a short time. It's so beautiful. What do you think? Canvas has got more expensive? No, I mean they don't get expensive on the way how I explain in the community how we order canvases. So like I said, just go to the elite community, click the link, and you can see how you can save money on ordering canvases. How we break it down in there. All right, on to the next one. It's still the same price. How we order it. If you're not part of the community, you snooze, you lose, Tom Cruise. Nothing to do about that. Nice job. Nice job. Thank you. Lee says, of course, I switched to the paper, but it's not the same. Canvas also brought that money. Paper brings in less for me. Exactly. I've been telling you that. I've been telling you that. It's like it works hand in hand. The paper can bring in the money on a buy it now, but then you're waiting around for that. And the only way that you can really push the sale on the buy it now is if you're leveraging it with the auctions. So yet you still need the auction canvases to be popping off in order for people to go to your buy it now store and to even want to buy the paper. So it's like you got to have these things working hand in hand. So you need the canvases. Let's see here. Glittering dog, sparkling colors. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for Dance Garden. I appreciate it. Hope you're good. All right, now on this next one, we're going to do is a colorful stallion. You have to invest back into yourself because it happens so quick. And the thing is, like we already are running on a 10-day duration. So we're running on a 10-day duration. Like when you do eBay, if like I'm pretty sure you guys have realized by now, in this game, it goes by quick. It goes by quick. The months go by quick. The time goes by quick. We're on a 10-day duration. Boom. 10-day duration is basically a week and a half. By that time, it's basically 2 weeks. By that time, it's a half a month. So it's like you have to have these things in coordination. And it's just like any other business. When you're talking about Starbucks or Target or any of these stores, when they started off, it took them years to get out of the black and make the profit point. You could get out your profit point very quick in this business. You could get out or you could get out of the red very quick. But you just have to make sure that you're showing up and putting volume out there so you can get out of the red. Sometimes people are chilling and they're like, oh, I'll get out of the red when I feel like it. I'll just be in debt as long as I feel like it. No, that stressed me out. Nobody's going to take more from me. I'm going to get out of the debt as soon as possible by pushing volume. So I stress that, where it's like, put the volume up so that way you can go to a schedule that you want to. If you want to chill, relax, and do whatever the schedule is that you want, at least when you're starting off, bust your ass and do the volume. Do the volume, get out of debt. Make sure that you have that capital that you're building up. It's going to happen as long as you're putting volume in, even if you put out the ugliest artwork. Let's see here. Jessica says, I'm struggling with getting started. I'm feeling overwhelmed with all the things. Find pictures, shipping, photos, listing, just in freeze mode. Well, I mean, you could always work with us in the community where you could get support with other people, have an accountability partner, or if not, then you could schedule a one-on-one with me, and then I'll work with you on what to prioritize and how we can go about your scheduling and things that you need to do, so that way these things are out of your head. Okay. Send me a message. in the community, and then we can schedule a one-on-one with you if you're open for that, or reach out in the community to set up an accountability partner for yourself. That really helps. Yeah, thank you, Lee. Start with the 14-day challenge and take it day by day. Take it day by day. All right, let's get into this horsey. Let's get into the horsey. This is going to be a fun one. I thought it was going to be the cubism lady next, but it's not. It's the horsey. It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, like when I have my reference folder file, I never really know what the next painting is going to be. I know that the cubism lady's in here somewhere, but I just go what's next, and I don't try to be too choosy and I don't want to do that one. It's tough. If it's tough, then I'm going to make it the ugliest. Then, like that's how y'all need to look at art. Whenever you say if there's something you have a reference, it's got too much detail, then make it ugly. Like draw stick figures, flowers. People will like that. Like don't treat yourself too serious. People are going to spend more money with you if you don't treat yourself too serious, because they can know you're treating yourself too serious and then it looks ugly anyway. So it's like, or you spent so much time into it. Like watch how we do this stallion right here. Watch how we knock this out. Invest back into yourself, because it's like there's always a quote that I always say. What do I always say? I say that bills are due every single day. When I say that bills are due every day, I also mean that bills are due also every day with your canvases. You got to make sure you have the canvases on standby. You know how I look. You know how I look at it when I'm thinking of like how we sell art, and especially when it comes to the canvas game, right? I think of it like those TV shows or those movies, right, where it's like drug dealers or something. Like I've never sold drugs or anything like that, right? But I put myself in the mindset of where it's like you got to buy these the canvases is like the kilos or something, and we gotta you're still in debt with the paying it off, and you gotta flip them fast, and then after a while you get a profit. I don't know, like Tony Montana or something out here. I think of it like that at times, where I'm like, when the canvases used to come to the garage, right, to the studio, it's kind of like I would be like, oh, the bricks finally came, and now I gotta sell them fast and distribute them out, so that way I could buy back from Michaels, who's the kingpin, and then I could flip it fast again. I don't ever think to myself like, oh, Tony Montana, I'm sitting on it, and I'm waiting around. No way, you got to get rid of it. I know it's a horrible analogy, but I think about stuff that's the extremes. That's how I'm able to go to the extremes, is I think about the extremes. Yeah, Michael's the kingpin. They are. You get what I'm saying? You got that's how I look. That's how I look at it. Like I'm buying back from I'm buying from the cartel, right? Michael's is the cartel. And then I'm waiting for the shipment to come in. Like, damn, they're late on the bricks. They're late on their shipment. All right, the bricks came in the studio. People call me up. They used to call me up, right? They'd be like, hey, you wanna let's hang out this weekend. Let's do something. No way. Are you kidding me? I'm looking at the tracking number right now. My bricks are coming in. As soon as the bricks come, I got to send it out because I'm in debt. I got to get out of the black. I owe people every day. Every day there's payments due. People think like in those movies or shows like these drug dealers are making money and stuff when they're not, because they owe so much money. They got to get rid of it fast so that way they can pay off all their other distributors or vendors. It's just, I don't know. My mind is like that. All right, like a movie. I mean, you gotta think, that's why I say I play these games where it's like you gotta play these games with yourself and make it fun. You gotta make it fun, and you gotta have these kind of ideas and fictional ideas in your head about different things. That's how I look at the game. I look at it like a game. I got to get rid of these bricks fast. All right, these bricks of because you know how they come in the bulk, like the bulk packaging, right? Of how the boxes come when they come from Michaels. They come in the 4x4x4s. It's like that's the bricks. All right. I gotta get rid of them fast. I gotta list them out on eBay. I gotta get them off my hands before the feds come. And then I gotta flip that money. And then when I flip that money, I don't touch the money because then you're out of the game, right? That's dumb. What do? When you flip the money, you get the money and then you flip it more so that way you can make more money. That's how I was able to make so much money over my years and how I was able to sell so many paintings is because I didn't touch my winnings and my profit and get out of the game. No, I used it to keep scaling up. You got to keep flipping it up. Think of it like, the bricks are the canvases. Exactly. That's how I look at it. Yeah, I know you got to use whatever works for you in your world and has you think about the game or think about something. That's how I always think of it. So anytime like the canvases would come, those are the bricks. Because I got to dish them off. The stolen art, like Mission Impossible or something. Exactly. There you go. So you can play around with these ideas like that. Like it's being delivered to you, and you gotta you gotta make sure that you get it, or the world's going to end. And there's a certain type of there's a different fraction. There's a different terrorist faction out there that's trying to get the whatever you got to tell yourself to get your numbers and to think of it. That's how I always look at it. Canvases. I'm like, dang, the cartel is late with their packages this week, which is Michael's. What am I going to do? I can't complain about it, right? Like the game, that's the thing too. It's like the game don't stop just because you messed up. The game don't stop just because the cartel is late with your shipment on whatever that package is. Maybe the feds got them on that canvas, right? Oh man, they stopped them. So what am I going to do? Am I going to be out the game? No, I got to go over to the next cartel, which is Hobby Lobby, right? And then, oh man, then I got to figure out like we're a business here. We're a business. Put yourself in whatever kind of shoes that you got to think of, where it's like you got to figure it out. You got to be resourceful out here. You're not just going to be messed up in the game because one situation happens. Oh, they're late with the packages. You know how many times like Michaels have been late with packages with me? There's been times when Michaels even where Michaels didn't even deliver the package. So here I'm out this money that I sent them and they didn't deliver it because it either got lost or there was a situation that might have happened. It was a rare situation, but it still happened. Dang, I'm out the bricks and I'm out the money. What am I supposed to do? You got to hit the streets, man. You got to be resourceful out here. You got to be a hustler out here. Like you got to put yourself also in the mindset of where it's like you also have like these Michaels, the cartel, right? Even though they're the cartel, they're still hungry. They're still hungry like they're not the cartel. You got to put yourself in a mindset where it's like burn the ships. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to figure out a way to get it. So that's why it's like at times when I hear stories about like I don't know what that's like. Well, it's like I get it worse, but I can't. My numbers are down. My sales are down. I can't figure. I don't know what that's. My mind's not like that because I'm gonna figure out a way to make it. There's been times where it's like I figured out a way. Like I'm a business. I'm gonna figure out a way. You're not because imagine like oh I'm in the game and the cartel they messed up my thing because they want the other competition to throw me off and they want me out the game. Imagine me crying about it. Like I'm gonna figure out a way. Like nobody's gonna take me out the game. You kidding me? This is my business here. I'm gonna figure out a way. I'm gonna make so many different pieces of art. I'm gonna hustle this so hard where even in my mind, there's been times where I'm like, dang, eBay's changed up their algorithm, and maybe they don't want entre. There's been times where I was like, maybe they don't even want entrepreneurs to succeed because they don't want to give too much power and have you free yourself, right? Well, like they can't have too many humans at the same time free themselves, right? Like, nah, these people are making too much money and they're freeing themselves. Like you still need a portion of the economy to be slaves. And these are the type of things that I put in my mind. I'm like, they still need a part of the economy to be slaves, right? Nah, you ain't gonna make me be no slave. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna force the game. I'm gonna make so many pieces of art. I'm gonna figure out a way. Even if I have to only sleep for 3 to 4 hours that night, I don't care. I'm going to figure out a way. I'd say to myself, I'm making 100 canvases today, and I'm going to work them fast, and I don't care. I don't care about the ego, but I'm gonna break the volume. I mean, something just clicked on me one day where it's like, why are you treating it like you're scared, like you're not allowed to make as many listings as you want? I'm able to do 250 listings of auctions a a month. And me, what I do, I even do more than that because I'm only paying 10 to 15% or 10 to 15 cents on each listing after the 250. So I'd rather do that than get the next business account up, the next store account up, because I think that was like, I think it's more expensive than when I did the math. I was like, it's way more expensive if I did the next tier up compared to if I got the $60 a month and I'm just paying 60 or 15 cents more on each listing. So I'm like, I'm going to break the system where I'm going to do as many as I want. And then also on the buy it now store, I get 2,500 a month. So it's like, why am I acting like I can't list whatever I want? Like I can list a straight line, and I mean, doesn't matter. Nobody's going to take me out. eBay's not going to take me out the game. All right, let's see what we got here in the comments. Can't complain. Yeah, you can't complain to the cartel, Brian. Yeah, exactly. Hobby Lobby, the cartel. Yep. The best of art says that's when you have to have a sit down with Michaels. Yeah, right. And then, hey, what's going on, Jim? And then what's Michaels going to say? Michaels, the cartel. You think they're going to care about your feelings? They're going to say, what are they going to say? That you're sitting down with the commission, and you're going to say, hey, man, I think the Feds got our last package, and I'm my numbers are down. My numbers are down, but it's not my fault. Now imagine you coming back to the cartel, right? Who's Michaels or Hobby Lobby or eBay, right? Whatever you want to consider. And imagine you say to them, hey, my numbers are low this month, but it's not my fault. What you think's gonna happen? What you think's gonna happen? Like you're a multi-millionaire, but you think they care? Like, so at times when I hear stories like my numbers are down, but it's not my fault. Yes, it is your fault. Everything's your fault. I come from the mindset, one of my mottos as a business owner, but as a man, is that as a man, everything is my fault. It begins and ends with the man. It is my fault. So I take responsibility for everything, the good and the bad. I'm not going to be like, my numbers are down. I'm going to do something about it. You're not going to throw me off. Getting the mindset of complaining, you get caught there, and your frequency is that. So invest back into yourself. Whatever game that you got to play in your mindset, you're the cartel. You're another cartel, and you're waiting for the other cartel, or whatever, or the Mission Impossible. There is no excuses when you be watching, like, when if you watch these TV shows or these movies, like, these people are rich, right? But they're still so hungry, and they're still out there where there is no excuses where they could go to somebody and complain. Oh, well, I'm having a bad month. The sales just aren't working for me. They be like, what do they always say to them then? They be like, well, you better get back out there and figure something out, right? Because we need our money. Because bills are due every single day. Like, instead of what you sitting up here crying at me for, instead of figuring it out. Hi, Deborah. Deborah says, how long does it usually take to make sales? That's based upon you. I mean, you can start making sales as early as next week. If you're not already part of the elite community, join us in the elite community. The link's in the chat. It's pinned to the top. And get started. Let me know if you have any questions. You'll have a full, it's not just a course where you'll be by yourself. You have a full community there with full support. Everybody there is in the higher frequency mindset. Everybody there is hustlers. Everybody there is go-getters. Mathematical Shape says, I subscribed about a week ago from a video, and I've been really enjoying listening to you talk, advise, and reflect in the shorts that have been popping up. I love your talking style. I appreciate you being here and leaving that comment. Thank you. Hey, Jin Jin. Hope you had a great weekend. But yeah, these are the kind of conversations that I like to have. These are real things. Like, I enjoy talking like this more than anything. This is what wakes me up in the morning. I enjoy this more than anything. This is my passion. My passion is helping you find your passion, and that there's no excuses about your passion because nobody else is going to care about it but you. And I always like I really enjoyed our last live stream that we had last week, last Friday, because I'm like, you can tell me whatever you want, or it's like a kid, your kid could say, oh, it's not my fault, and I in school this happened, that happened. You can tell me whatever you want, but and God knows. I was thinking about it more this weekend, right? And I said to myself, I said, that's like you telling your husband or wife, right? Or whoever, I'm going to the park to work out. All right. But yet 3 months go by and you're still fat or you're still not in shape. Only God and if you've been going to the gym or to the park and you've been actually doing the exercises, you've been running around the laps, you've been running around the track, you've been actually doing the work. If you haven't been doing the work, it doesn't matter what you tell your husband or wife, like, oh, honey, I'm back from the park. I mean, you might say that in your mind, you might think that was the work of you just going to the park. But what were you doing when you're there? Were you actually doing the work? Because then some people really are in the mindset where months go by and they've been at the park and they'll tell their husband or wife, but honey, I've been doing the work. I was at the park. The hell were you doing at the park? It doesn't take that long. And me, I've been in this game for so long. I know what it looks like for the individuals who do the work and who don't do the work. And that's a different psychology. I can't make you do the work when you're at the park by yourself. It's either in you or it ain't in you. And just like it's going back to that old analogy where we were talking about too, it's kind of like the cartel, right? The ones who succeed and who are successful in that world, it's either in them or it ain't in them. It's either in you or it ain't in you. Nobody can force it in you or not. The hustle is either in you or it ain't in you. But I'm doing the work. I'm telling the cartel, I'm doing the work, but my numbers are slow. The cartel gonna be like, I'm not with you all the time. I don't care what you're talking about. Give me my money. Because bills are still due every day. I can't I can't show up to the bank or certain places that you might owe money to, or such situations and be like, well, I can't really pay you this month. I'm behind on the bill. I'm like, why? What are you talking about? Well, I was doing the work, but it's not my fault. They're gonna be like, that's a cool story. Actually, they're not even gonna wait to hear a story. What are you telling me for? Give us that money. But I can't. I was working really hard at the park and my numbers are low. It's not my fault. Or Michael's didn't ship me Michael's. Because you imagine having a bill collector, right? Or you got a bill, and then you're like, I can't pay you this month. They're like, what? Like, what you talking about? Well, Michael's missed my box, so you just gotta wait. They'll be like, Michael's who? Who's Michael? Tony Michael? Who? Who are you talking about? Michael's. And Hobby Lobby. They told me to give you an IOU for next month. Yeah, I'm pretty sure your bank will love that. Futuristic cave art. I like that. I like the sound of that. All right, I'm about done with this one. All right, leave me a comment in here saying that you agree with me, or leave me a comment in here and say that I should lie to you and say that only 3 canvases a day is great and you'll make $1 million. Just do 3 canvases a day. You're doing a great job. You're perfection. 3 canvases a day. You're awesome. You don't have to work hard at all. Just 3 to 5 canvases. That's it. Yeah, you're great. Let me know. Let me know which one you want to hear. All right. I'm done with this one. Check this out. Look, we did this in such a short period of time, or at least I thought it was a short period of time. Maybe it wasn't. Here we go. Look at that right here. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful or not beautiful, whatever. It's going to sell. We're done with that package, right? We're done with that the kilo from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. 1 kilo is the box, so that's 28 of those, right? Or that's 24 of those. Blessed Heart Studio. Oh, I thought we were talking about bricks. We are talking about bricks. Oh, I love you. That's hilarious. All right, let me get on to the next painting. Blessed Art Studio is always listening. She's listening fully. She gets the whole assignment every single time. Never off a beat. We are talking about bricks. Exactly. See, you're always listening. I'm just making sure that everybody else is paying attention. I agree with everything you're saying. You got to work hard. Yeah, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. Some people don't. I'm telling you. Horse, I'm horse crazy. I know I'm horse crazy too. I love them. I could do so many horses. I could do horses all day if you let me. Yeah, some people are under the impression it's like you don't have to work it, and you have to work it. So anytime that I hear somebody where it's like, oh, but my Blessed Art Studio says, I'm pretty sure my ghetto neighbors who have been listening to us for the last 8 days. So if I don't show up, Michael's got me. Right? Exactly. Now, so sometimes I'll hear people be like, My numbers are off. It's not because of me, it's the bricks. The bricks aren't weighed right. The bricks didn't come in correctly, right? The kilos weren't right. And then you know what I say to them? Just like in my mind, I tell you, I think of the extremes. I think if I'm the cartel, I go, all right, but how many packages did you sell? How many packages did you list every day? Did you go to the streets, right? And how many did you put out there for the streets to sell off? Were you selling them off? Were you listing them? How many listings were you doing consistently every single day? And it always comes back to the same numbers. It always comes back to the same numbers where they aren't consistent. They weren't showing up. Could you imagine like working for the cartel or something and you're Tony Montana, and then it's like there's days that you're taking off of work, you're just chilling, like you just have the option where you're taking days off. Like, what are you doing? At least, especially like starting off, and then you want to come back to the cartel and you're complaining that your numbers are right. And then the cartel's got to look, they got to do they got to do an audit into your business and be like, hold on, let me look in here. What? How can you even complain? I'm doing an audit into your store right now. Like, you're not even showing up. You think the cartel's going to hold your hand on making sure that your numbers are correctly? You're the one who wanted to be in the game, right? You wanted to be in the game. This is what it takes. If not, then you're just going to fall out the game and there's nobody to blame for it but yourself. Or you could just get your ego out of it and put them bricks out. The Mule. Why am I thinking about the movie The Mule? I think I've seen that before. Is that the one with the girl, right? The girl and yeah, right? Yeah, I think that's it. She goes, let's see here. Kim Art says, honestly, how many canvases should we do to make a full-time living? You know, what I tell people now, to be honest, Kim, I say treat every single day like you need to do 100 pieces. Treat every single day like you need to create 100 pieces of art. Because if I give you a number, you're either going to aim for that number or you're going to aim a little bit below the number. You're going to aim for the minimum of it. And then it's going to be like, oh, well, I'm getting close to the number that Corbellic told me. Woo, I could quit. No, you need to hustle and be like in the state of mind. And my state of mind when I show up to work and I'm like, no one's going to throw me off this game. No one's going to take anything from me. I would show up to work and I would say, I'm showing up to work today. I'm going to do 100 canvases today. I'm going to do 100. Now, if I actually make 100, no, I don't. But at least I see what I'm capable of. And I really put conviction in my heart that I'm going to try to figure out a way to make 100 canvases. So how many ever I have, I would line the table up and I would prepare all these canvases. I would prepare as many canvases as possible. I would line them up side by side. I would stack them up high, and I'm doing the background color painting. I'm doing the background color. I'm not doing the principal color or the principal whatever it is that we're doing off the projector. This is just the table background art or color, just like how we're doing here, but I would do them all side by side, and I would stack them up, and then I would let them dry out. So that way, the next day when I'm ready to go into work, and I have conviction in my heart that I'm going to I'll die that day trying to figure out how to do 100. Then I can see what I'm capable of and how many canvases that I actually produce. Now, what I would also do when we're talking about now in this video is how to invest in yourself. Just like a good business does, sometimes a good business waits a while until you have a proper startup launch. You can put yourself out of business by launching too early without you being prepared. Sometimes you actually want to make sure that you have your investments in order. If like what I would do, if I have in my heart, I'm going to try to do so many canvases in one day, then I'm going to make sure that I order the most that I can from Michael's so that it can stretch me out 10 days, whatever it's going to be. I'll go broke. There's been times where I went broke, dead broke, pennies because, and I'm not broke. It's just that I spent all my investment money into Michael's, into buying the bricks, right? I'm thinking like Tony Montana. I'm thinking of the cartel. Sometimes people wanted to get in the game so bad, they want to get the connect, right? which is the proper cartel. And then they spend all of their money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, right? So just so they can get in the game, that's their investment. So they can get the bricks. They get the bricks. Now it's up to you to flip it fast. So that's what I would do. I would spend my last penny because there's no going back home. I burn the ships. I believe in myself. I believe in myself where I'm going to spend my last penny into the game. I want the game. I buy the canvases. I prepare them. And then whatever I do that day, whatever I bust my ass on that day on the work, whatever I listed, I don't list it for that same day because that would be stress. Whatever I did at the end of that day, 12 a.m., 2 a.m., I go to sleep. I list those for the next day. And then I can see that I could do it for the next day. I make sure I can see what my consistency is. So that's just the answer that I got right there on that one. I hope that answer your question. So that way, that way you can push yourself in your mindset of what it is, because there is no absolute answer of what I can give you on what the market is. The market is you stressing the market. The market is you forcing the market to understand that you are here, Kim, that you are here, and that nobody's going to take anything else from you. All right, let's see what we got. That bunny's going to look nice. It's going to look so cool. The one with Clint Eastwood. Let's see. Sharon says, I need a heat gun. Yeah. Hair dryer gun is too slow. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, the movie is good. Let's see here. Sharon says, what I do is clean the brush over the canvas on paper when I'm changing colors. Yeah, I used to do that as well. Yep, you got to burn the ships, burn the boat. That's what we do around here. There is no going back. There's no going back. I like putting myself in situations where my back is against the wall, because that's how I know I'm going to hustle. I bet on myself. If I put myself in a situation where I got too many options, or my brain is going to make an excuse for me, it's not going to go well for me. I always like to put myself in situations where it's go hard or go home. And I'm not going backwards. A lot of times, in order for you to get your freedom and to go out, what I always say to me, the only way out is in. I have to go hard in order for me to get out of whatever situation, because there's no going backwards. Backwards is regret, and backwards is there is no backwards. Dang, I'm messed up right now. I can't, there's the only thing that I could do to get out of now is to go forward, but to go forward faster, harder. I think like a hustler, because nobody else is going to care about you and nobody else is going to do it for you. I don't care what kind of situation you're in. I don't care who's financing you. I don't care who you still have to show up and do the artwork. You still have to paint. You still have to do the work. If you want it enough. The whole thing of why I even started this whole my coaching is to help people who are in situations where it's dire. You're so fed up of your 9 to 5. You're so tired of your life. You're so tired where the economy is taking money from you. They taking time away from you. They taking things from you, and you're so tired. But also, you're done playing the games of social media and things like that. This only works for people who are in those situations where you were at the point and it's dire and you were fed up and you were at that point. This works. But if you feel like you're not at that point and you didn't burn ships and you have options, then it's not going to work for you. And I'm not going to be some coach who's trying to take people's money. And I'm going to say it's going to work for you if you create 3 to 5 canvases. No, it's not. And you're just going to complain and you're going to be mad at yourself. But you don't have to be, because you can get out of your ego and just do the work. And you see me show up and do the work as well. And how I do the work. I didn't go to art school. All right, let's see what we have. More options equals a confused mind. Yep. I mean, and then the thing is about it, this, Kim, it's like, of course you don't actually have to do 100 canvases a day, right? Like, because that's just a lot. But as long as you put it in your mind, the conviction of what you're made out of and how you can stress yourself and what you're actually, look, until I said this to myself about the 100 canvas rule, until I said this to myself, I didn't believe in myself fully. I didn't believe in myself. I used to limit myself and say, I'm only capable of doing 10 canvases a day because anything more than that is impossible. It's hard. It's so difficult. There's no way I can do it. I used to limit myself until I woke up one day and was like, dude, like, what do you have to lose? You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to die. You- You're not going to bleed out. Your body's not just going to catch on fire from creating paint or even if it's ugly art, whatever. The worst that's going to happen is you have volume. But I rather on the days that when I have auctions going off and there's not enough cha-chings going on, I always say to myself, I'd rather have volume than anything. I wish that I had more canvases, even if they were ugly. Like, damn, I wish tonight when I hear those cha-chings, like, because when that last cha-ching goes off and there's no more listings that's going, you didn't list anymore. There's nothing else that's coming next on that next minute. I always get sad and I'm like, damn, I wish I had more that was cha-chinging. I'd rather have the volume that's there. Let me know in the comments if I'm making sense, y'all. If this resonates with you. All right, Bunny. So that's why it's important. You have to invest back into your business. Invest back into your business and treat it like a game where you're investing back into the cartel. There's people out there who are street peddlers or whatever they do, right? Who are criminals, and they pray for situations like that where they could be connected to the top cartel. We're connected to the top cartel of Michael's Pro, and we have to invest back into it. There's people who spend their life savings just so they can get in the game because they bet in themselves that if you just give me this if you give me this one opportunity, this one shot, this one time, this one opportunity, where here I'm going to give you all of the money that I have, so that way I could get the bricks. And I promise you, if you give me the bricks, I'll be able to flip it and triple it very fast. Then those people are the ones who are the most resourceful. Those are the people who make it to the top. The ones who don't make it to the top and get out the game is the ones who beg for the opportunity. You get some bricks and then you sit on it for a year. You sit on it for a month. You sit on it for however long. No, you get out the game. If not, get killed. Lee says it is critical that we trust ourselves and put in the investment of time, energy, and money, but it is also essential to trust you, our mentor. I know you know what you're talking about. When you say jump, I jump. Well, true, true. But also, you have to have discernment amongst yourself because your frequency is your frequency, Lee. So, a lot of things that I've learned off of, but as well too, it'll get to a point where you have to vibe off of what works for you. I mean, we don't want people to come in here and think that we have a cult, right? we're not running a cult here. I promise you. Gonna have new members come in here like, what the hell's Corbellic over here running? He's over here talking about kilos and bricks and jumping off of bridges. Yeah, I tell people all the time, this belongs to all of us. I'm you and you're me. We're no different. I just been doing this for a while, and but I believe that we're all geniuses and we all have the same light that's inside of all of us. I mean, I think my passion is just trying to have us remember, like society has us forget that we're superheroes, and my strength and what I try to have is just remind us that we're all superheroes and that the power is in within all of us. We're all geniuses, and they lie to us on these fake metrics and stuff that say of what we're not and what we're not capable of. They really distracted us for so long. But this belongs to all of us. And at the same time, it doesn't belong to any of us. And especially it doesn't belong to me. I tell people all the time, if there's a reference that you see me create or any art that I've created, paint it. Other artists out there, if they see that you paint like them or see you paint one of their references, they get upset because their mind is on a lower frequency where they think that this belongs to them, and it doesn't. It doesn't belong to us, but yet it belongs to all of us. So I hope after this live that you can maybe go back to this video and watch it again, because there's some gems in here that's very important that you hear what I'm saying, but you're not listening. And at the same point too, I can't expect you to some people to properly be there to listen either, because you're not in the game yet. Even though you think you're in the game, you're not in the game yet where you understand what I'm fully saying about investing in yourself and making sure that you have your inventory properly set up and make sure that you don't have weeks off. Like I said, I think about the extreme, right? Where it's like we're in the game with the cartel. And if we got rid of, let's just say we got rid of some bricks too fast, right? But then we still gotta wait still gotta wait a week or two for our next bricks to come from the cartel to distribute it off. They're gonna be mad at us because we have weeks off. And we can't have weeks off because the game don't stop. Just because you stop don't mean that the game stop. Just because you stop don't mean that there's other artists and there's other resellers on eBay who aren't selling every single day. You see it out there. When you're on eBay, I know you see that there's all these resellers, there's all these other sellers out there. The day that you stop is the day that they're taking your place. Ain't nobody taking my place. Exactly, Lee. You got it. So it's only going to come out as our own voice. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, and that's what I always just pushed out on doing this as well. That's the only reason how this works compared to any other channel or any other artist out there is that we're all geniuses, and it's going to come out in your own voice, your own light. We're all geniuses and we're all authentic. I always try to push people to be authentic. Yes, we use the projector. I never talk about stealing or having intellectual copyrights and things like that. More like make things your own and using this as a confidence tool to get there. Because we all have a special light that's inside of us. We all have something that's very unique that I can't do, but you can do. I can't paint as good as you can, and you can't paint as good as I can. And as long as you focus on that, as long as you keep saying that to yourself, knowing that there's something inside of you that makes you more special than anybody else, because that's how God created you. We're all creators. We were all made in the image of the creator. So it's inside of us naturally. We don't have to try to look for it. It's not on the outside of us. And as long as you hone in on that, that's where you'll always be in your own lane and you'll sell more or you'll be whatever, because it's already, I can never do what you could do and you can never do what I could do. Sometimes in our society, well, a lot of times in our society, we always try to have people learn and grow at the same metrics. You know, That's why it's like I never really get into IQ test because it's like the IQ test is based off of a metrics that everybody should be having the same type of brilliance on a same type of learning metrics, and that's not true. You can't force a tree to be a butterfly. Can't force a butterfly to be a tree. But they're all geniuses in their own way of how they were created. And I know it to be true. It's a fact. All right, let me turn the light on. Discerning Light says we all have our own gifts to offer. So true. Yes, we do. We all have our own gifts to offer. One of the things that really helped me and that I say a lot recently, especially when it comes to business, the thing that can help anyone, if you're thinking about getting into a different form of business, is that we are all naturally good at something. All of us. If you just take your time, you're all naturally good at something. And it might not be painting. Sometimes we're so caught up in our ego, we have to believe that we're good at the thing that we're doing currently now for our business. Like right now, we just might be doing eBay just to make extra money, and it's the business part. But that doesn't mean like we could just say to ourselves and be lazy. That's what I'm good at. I've done 17,000 paintings. And to myself, do I say that this is my top talent is that I'm a painter? No, I don't say that to myself. There's other talents that I have that I'm naturally good at. And those things are things that you need to hone in on. The things that you are naturally good at, do that. That's how you become successful. Whatever you are naturally good at, focus on what that thing is, do that, and dominate on that selling point. That's what you're good at. All right. So here we go right here. This is our bunny. Actually, let me throw a red border on this one because I think it's going to look so cute. Why not? Let me throw a red border on this bunny. Look at this bunny. Come on. Stop playing with me. So cool. Let me throw a little this on there. Boom. All right. There we go on there. Let me throw my signature on here and then I can show it to you up close. Huh? Look at that bunny right there. Right? Come on. Right? Look at that. We got a beautiful thing going on there. Look at that bunny. Sharon says, awesomeness. So awesome. So much fun. Jim says, I just looked and realized I finished another box of canvases. So as I crack the seal on box number 2, I also order 2 more boxes. They go by quick. I mean, what I'm saying, even when I'm talking about investing yourself, it's going to get to a point where just say to yourself, you know what? I believe in myself so much. Now it's a business. Instead of me ordering 2 boxes, you start off 1 week, you order 2 boxes. Then the next 2 weeks, order 4 boxes at a time. Then after that, take that investment and order 6 boxes at a time. That's how I flip the game up. That's how I double it up. I do it like that. I don't always just keep ordering 2 by 2 by 2. Like I need more. I flip it up. Then you're going to notice the money's going to be raining down on you psychologically because you put money away. You paid yourself first. So you have that super nest egg, not your savings, but the super nest egg, right? That you'll never touch. Then you have also the business funds that you keep flipping it into. But this is the big thing. This is the big thing that I want to talk about with you guys about investing in yourself, right? When you invest in the business, and this is what helped me. because I've had 47 different, or I had 77 different jobs in my life, right? I'm so used to being employed where I hire myself. So I'm Corbellic, but I work for Corbellic Studio. Corbellic Studios hired and fired me plenty of times. I hired and fired myself. It happens, you know. Sometimes I lack off on the job. When I lack off on the job, hey, Corbellic Studio reminds me of where I lacked off on, and I got fired. All right, but then I came back to the cartel, which is Corbellic Studio, and I begged them, please, for another opportunity. I promise you, as long as you give me another opportunity, I'm going to show up to work on time. I'm going to do as many canvases. I'm going to do this, and then just give me my job back. And the Corbellic Studio says, okay, I'm going to give you your job back, but this is your salary. You're only going to get paid $1,000 a week. Okay. I pay myself somewhat of a salary around there. Okay. So that way, anything else that Corbellic Studio makes, that's their profit, that's their bank. And their bank is usually stored so it could invest back into the business. That's not my money. It's the cartel's money, who I work for. I work for Corbellic Studio, and that's their money. And the reason why they have their own money is because they need to make sure that the cartel is still going on. It's still running in the business, regardless of what I do. Because me, I'm a degenerate, right? I'll take the money and I'll blow it. I'm like, hey, we're like Pablo Escobar out here. We got all this swimming. We're swimming in cash. You kidding me? We're printing out cash around here. We got so much money coming. I'll mess the money up. So by me not messing the money up, because I'm a degenerate, I'm an outsider, I make sure that, Corbellic Studio, my employer, they hold the money, but they also invest back into the business. So these are things that you need to think about yourself. Don't put everything into yourself where you're a business, but you need to separate yourself from the business. All right. Let's see here. Cartel stuff isn't cool. No, well, you can put whatever in your mindset, just like when we talk about the panda bear, whatever works for you, whatever works for you. Okay. These are my fictional fairy tale ideas of the extremes. Okay. Whatever works for you. Write in the story what works for you, what you like. It's definitely cool to me. Let's see here. Deborah says yes. If I had the room, I would. It is cool. Of course it's cool. Yeah. No one says that we're out here. Look, I mean, I'm working my ass off and I'm over here. I've sold 17,000 paintings. No one's saying that we're selling drugs. I make more money than drug dealers. Okay. But I think the idea of like me growing up, I love pop culture. I love movies. So when I'm thinking of, I could think of Goodfellas. I could think of Godfather. I could think of what that Tom Cruise movie, right? Where he's like the shipping off the things. I think about things like this. We're American. These are the things of our pop culture. I'm not going to ignore it. Doesn't mean if you watch you watch if you watch Freddy Krueger, we're not out there haunting kids in their dreams. It's okay to talk about it. Better analogies. Give me a better analogies. What's your best analogy? Whatever your best analogy is that we'll all follow you on your channel, and then you can put that in your channel what your analogy is of how you're able to create 17,000 pieces of art. If you want better analogies, leave a super chat in here. Tell me what the analogy is with the super chat. We're over here talking about bricks. Okay. We're over here talking about bricks and cartels. It's Monday. Let's see here. What else? All right. Let's go on to the next one. Guess I hit a nerve. No, it must have hit your nerve when we're talking about fictional things and fairy tales. Maybe it hit your nerve. Maybe you have drug addicts in your family. All right, let's do this. See, everybody wants bricks and cartel talk. Let's do this. The hell? That's another thing I talk about too at the beginning of doing YouTube and this and coaching is that I could paint whatever I want and I could talk about whatever I want. I don't want people to come into my comments telling about what I can't talk about on my live stream and what I can't paint or what I can't do. Don't try to be a voice police or art police. I'm not that person, and you don't know me. Let's see here. I have a Michael and Hobby Lobby use coupons time to get rid of the excuses. There we go. Verdant Garden says, I agree, Corbellic, it's your channel. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, what I always talk about when it comes to your life, even whatever you post or you choose not to post on Facebook or whatever, you're going to have family. You're going to have people who's trying to like, they'll throw little frequency things in there and it'll eat away at you. And you'll be like policing yourself. Once you let them do it a little bit, it doesn't even matter. It could be an even stranger. I don't even know if this person's a real person. It could be an AI robot. Don't treat any of it serious. It's your life. You only have one life to live. You can do what you want. You can talk about what you want. You can paint what you want. It's your life. No one's going to come in here and try to throw my frequency off of what I can and can't talk about. Haven't left me any super chat or anything and trying to dictate. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's go on to the next one. I love you guys. I appreciate that. This is why this is the best channel. We are so raw and real around here. Everybody else is trying to sugarcoat stuff around here. There's no sugarcoating. All right, we're going to do a birdie on here, but we're going to do an abstract, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful birdie. I'm just going to do an abstract background real quick. Bless Start says, you are awesome. You are awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in here. If you haven't left a like already, leave a like. Let me know if you appreciate the best art live stream on YouTube. If you're not already a part of the community, join so you can see how you can do this for yourself. Everything is set up for you. We got all the templates. We got everything broken down. You have a community. You start with a 14-day sales orientation. So that way it sets you up on what you need to be doing so you can get your listings up and then you can get your sales popping. And you'll be up and running. You'll have so more confidence than anything. So many people hit me up. I would have never been able to do this if it wasn't for you, or at least not in the time frame. And I'm like, hey, I tell everybody in the community, you guys are doing way better than me when I started off. Way better. Like it took me years to get to where you're at right now. Now, when you invest it back into yourself, right, it's going to get to a point that then you're going to be like, all right, what else is there? Or what am I doing it for? Like, especially when it's going to be like maybe at the year point, or maybe even at the year 2 point of some people. You're going to be like, all right, you're going to be like, all right, well, now what? I already hit my goals. I already made my money. Then you need to start thinking about the things that you want to invest in as other businesses. Or you can start even thinking about like I don't want to give a financial advice because you can't do that on YouTube. But what I would start thinking about stuff is like taking your profit points and putting them into investments. I mean, for right now, not giving financial advice, I would put things into certain cryptos because you have a higher ROI on the flip than you would on putting it into S&P, which is basic stocks, basic stocks. Those are dinosaur trading. You'll have way of a more higher margin, especially instead of putting it into a savings account or something like that. It's just better, more profit margin on a flip than putting it into certain cryptos, than letting it sit in a bank account where they collect the interest off of it. And then at the end of the year, they're going to give you an APR of less than 4%. But not even that, like not even that. They're not going to give you off of your money that you saved in there. So what's the point? You could be making a 20%, a 20x fold by the end of the year, putting it in certain crypto. Or even if not that, just you could still put it into a stock, and then just let it sit there. It's still better than letting it sit in your bank account while they're collecting interest off of it, and then the inflation on the dollar can move up. Or let's see here. Spoo says, are you able to Squarespace link in the direct messages on eBay? You can, but it's only after they purchase something. So they have to purchase something from you first where the money is already spent. The money was already collected from you. And then eBay is going to allow you to have any kind of direct message that you want inside of eBay. But if there's no money spent yet, then they're not going to let you do anything like that. And then they're going to flag it. They're not going to let you even write the words PayPal, link, Zelle. They're not going to let you put your email address. They're not going to do it. They're going to shut that down. They're not going to let you send any information on a communication unless that buyer purchased something on that order. The money's already spent. Then if they purchase something, you can always go into that order that they purchased, and you can send them a message, and they'll let you send any phone number, anything. They'll let you send any message you want because they already spent money with you. 717 Best says that's the 100th monkey effect. Explain. What do you mean by that? 7173 Best B Pest. That's the 100th monkey effect. Explain that one. Let the chat know what you're talking about. Explain. I want to hear it. The 100th monkey effect. Maybe that's a known thing, but I don't know what it is. All right, so this one I'm just going to do a real extract, right? Abstraction right here. What we're painting now is just going to be an abstract bird, like a Tweety bird. Just real abstract, real loose. I love doing it like this. It's going to be super duper loose, and people love them too. Because at least like people see beautiful birds and stuff like bird stuff all the time, but what they don't see is just a different version of it where it's like confident and it's bold. It's like, wow, it's a bird. We know it's a bird. It's a Tweety bird, but I love how he approached it because he doesn't care. That must be confidence. I like to create art like that. I keep it in the mindset of where it's like, I don't care. And I want to show people that I don't care because then they can see the bravado in that. They can see the confidence to be like, they didn't care about the choices instead of, oh, it's a polar bear with a thousand hairs on there. They care too much. They care so much that they created 1,000 hairs on the polar bear instead of he didn't care at all. It's so loose. 7173 B Pest says when one monkey learns how to wash his food, the 100th monkey will start doing it by intuition without seeing how the first monkey did it, related to the first to related to painting fast. So true. That's a great analogy. So true. So always think in your mind that you're invested in yourself. A lot of times people are like, man, Corbellic, like when I bought the new projector, they're like, how come you didn't buy one years ago or a new printer? And I'm like, if it's not broke, I don't fix it. Besides, my employer has me on a tight rope. You know, Corbellic Studio has all the assets. They have the corporation money, right? They keep me on a tight leash though. I'm like a slave here, you know. I'm working away. I'm a slave. They keep me on a leash, but you know, I begged for this opportunity though, so I can't complain because I didn't when Corbellic Industries fired me. I thought I was going to have to go back out to like corporate America and beg for a job. And then I was like, I can't go back to corporate America and get a regular job, sit at a desk and punch in numbers like that. I said, okay, no. I got to get my old job back. I apologize for showing up thinking that I own the company. I don't own the company. I'm sorry. I won't act like I'm the boss. I'm not the boss. You're the boss, Corbellic Industries. I apologize. Please let me get my job back so I don't go homeless in the streets and I don't have to I don't have to put in ad hoc reports on Excel and I don't have to sit at the cubicle again. I apologize. I promise I'll do. Now, the reason I also say that mindset as well too when it comes to me working for Corbellic Industries is that you have a salary at your job, whatever your salary is. When your manager or the director, they come to you and say, for 8 hours, you're going to do these numbers. You're going to sit there and do those numbers. You're not going to complain, how many numbers do I do, boss, until I'm successful? The company's going to say, until how many we tell you, because you're paid a salary to sit your ass down there and do 100 million of these numbers until we tell you so. And then you're gonna be like, okay, boss, I'm so okay. You did pay me a good salary, and I get those good biscuits, and I get those good benefits, so I can eat at TGIF Fridays at 30% off. Thank you, boss. They're like, yeah, I thought so. That's right. Lee says, ha ha ha, you mentioned crypto, and now I'm getting crypto ads. Yeah, there you go. It's just I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't say stuff, but I mean, you're in a great time right now. You can make yourself rich right now if you put certain money in crypto right now and let it just sit there. It's way more of an investment than if you put it in the S&P for a corporation. Only corporations that are doing right now when it comes to Wall Street is AI companies, and even those have volatility in it. But with crypto right now, you have so many legislations and things that are being signed, and where that's going to be the new world in the next year or two, where that's how the banks are dead. But the banks can't come out and actually tell people that they're dead, because if they did, everybody would take their money out of it and you crash the economy. But the dollar's dead, the banks are dead. It's going to go into crypto. So if you put things into that now, you would have like a 500% on whatever your money is. You could just put $20 into it. You know, some people are like, I don't want to invest any money in it whatsoever. It's a scam. You ask them anything about it, they don't know they can't even explain to you what it is. It's a scam though. The TV told me. The TV told me it's a scam. Like you can't even like just put you could put 20, 30, or $40 into it, at least that you would have a better investment. And then you could be able to take care of your family. I'd rather do that than have my money sit into a bank or have my money sit into something that's not going to yield. Where Dan Gardner says those cubicles are upholstered jail cells. Exactly, it's a jail cell. So I begged for my job back. I begged for my job back. I said, Corbellic Industries, look, I know I was cocky. I know I showed up to work and I told everybody that this is my company and that I get to hang out at the beach. I get to do what I want. I know I told everybody that I get to have my own schedule and I'm the boss around here and that Corbellic ain't nothing without me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please let me have my job back. He was like, I'll think about it. And then I had to show proof for a little bit to a Corbellic studio that I was worth having my job at. And he let me work for free for like a month or so. And then I was able to get my job back. Now I always remember it. And I'll never. He's like, do 100 canvases a day. Okay, Corbellic Industries, I'll do whatever you tell me. And he's like, but your salary stays the same every week. It's just like having a job. What's the difference between me having a job now and me say, hey, I got to do this many number of canvases and I work for myself, compared to a company says it and I have no control over the company. Even if I do 100, there's been situations where I've made companies so much money. I've done 100 ad hoc reports. I've saved money on their quarterly versus their fiscal and all that crap. You think they share any of the profit points with you? No, they don't, because that's part of your salary and you're capped. At least now it's like the corporation that I work for, they're not capped. They could go to the ceiling with it and they could keep investing into themselves on it. You need to write a book. I do need to write a book. I'm going to write a book like in a year or two. I do need to write a book. I got so many like stories, stories and life experiences. I was going to write a book, or I was going to have like a podcast book kind of situation when it was around COVID. But COVID happened and it was going to be about all the corporations that I work for and kind of like the life experience. But now it's like it would be even more. So I'll get to it soon, probably within this year. I'll have AI help me with a book or something like that, at least to start off with. But you're right. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. It's like we're in 2026 and some people actually like, it's more riskier now to have a salary and to have a full-time job than it is to have your own business. This is the easy stuff. It's a no-brainer for you. You have more of a chance of being successful now having your own business and doing your own thing than you do working for somebody. This is in 1996. You don't have any job stability. You don't have a job security. Let's see here. Do I have a favorite job of them all? Yeah, Corbellic Studio. And sometimes Corbellic Studio has been some of my worst job as well too. I ain't even gonna lie to you. How about that? My best job that I've had is Corbellic Studio, but also my worst job that I've had at times was Corbellic Studio. Lee says it's where to start that keeps me from crypto. It's very simple, very easy. It's nothing difficult at all. If you want, on our next call, I can guide you in some places of where to go to and where to start. It's nothing difficult at all. And it doesn't take any money to like join something. There's no fee. It's free to invest the money. And I'm gonna tell you something. For anyone who doesn't know this already, you don't get rich from saving money. Rich people, wealthy people, they don't get rich from saving money. I didn't make most of my money from saving money and working hard. That's for losers, all right? You make money from investments. The money that you save, whatever little money that you do have that you save, you put it into investments. And then the investments work for you and you get rich. Then you get wealthy. Then you go back to the bricks. All right. You go back to the cartel and you take some of those and you flip it. That's how it works. But you don't get rich and you don't get wealthy and you don't get well off in life from saving money. The banks don't have their algorithms set up for you to get rich from saving money. That's dumb. And working hard. You're never going to get like that. You only work hard now. I'm only talking about you working hard now so you could be in a position so you could have investments. Let's see here. Sharon says, "Man, I need a call like that." Hey, we could, you know what? We could start doing stuff like that. Maybe I'll have a separate thing, Corbellic Crypto, where I talk about investments. I could talk about Corbellic investments, Corbellic crypto, and Corbellic financials. Maybe I'll that's another business thing. Maybe I'll have something on that. You know, I could have something separate for that though. That wouldn't be part of the community. That would have to be something separate for sure. But what to do with your money? eBay's blessed me, but eBay's only blessed me because what I've done with the money. I didn't put it into it's not 1976 where I put it into a bank account and I'm sitting around and I'm waiting for the APR every year to grow for me. And I'm just sitting there. That's stupid. That money's going to be gone by then. And then inflation would already eat it up anyways. That's retarded. Sorry for using the R word. I apologize. That's dumb. But yeah, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. Exactly. Sharon says it. Funny that Sharon says, funny that banks use the compounding interest against us on credit cards, but they find loopholes when they want compounding interest to work against us. Yeah, I agree. Says, could we invite Michael? I don't know. We'll have to see about if we could invite Michael. He's pretty tight. You know, if you mess up on the bricks with the cartel with Michael, he's gonna like come for you and then break your kneecaps. And Lee says, yes, please. Yeah, I'm gonna have something like that because it's important. That's what we do it for. That's the real thing of what we do it for. It's like, yes, to put yourself in financial position, but really it's to take yourself in financial position. The crumbs that we do get or whatever we're able to get from eBay, I was able to flip all of that by putting it into crypto. And then off of the gains off of that, that's how you get wealthy. That's how you're able to monetize yourself. That's how you're able to get it. And we're at the best time now because we're about to hit a bull market with the crypto where right now we just been sideways for a while. We've just been sideways for a little bit, like a year. We've been sideways. But there's so much legislation that's being signed right now where crypto is taking over the banks. And they've already rewritten the code inside of the banks where it's ISO that they already have to go for. But their backs are against the wall where they have to be implemented anyways. And then also on top of that, we're going to have a new so any day now, the Clarity Act is going to be signed on crypto where it's going to have more of a guideline of regulations, a hardcore regulation. That's what everybody's been waiting for. So that's going to happen any week now, any day or any week now. So we have like within a month, even if you put $20 in now, $50 in now, you'll put yourself in a position where you could really bankroll yourself and get yourself out of situation. I'm talking about we're about to hit a super pocket. And then in early May, we're going to have a new Fed chair anyways, where the interest rate is going to be cut so low. So at that time, there's going to be so much cash inflow at that time. And then with the new Clarity Act of the crypto, I'm telling you, people don't even understand we're about to pop. All right, look at this bird right here. Check this out. Look at that right here. Look at that beautiful thing. You work hard right now, you might put yourself in a situation where you don't even have to work next year and a year from now. If you do the right thing and you put yourself in the right situation, you can put yourself where you might not even have to work next year. That's how I look at when I create art. That's how I think about opportunities too. I don't think about now. I'm creating because I'm just creating art and I'm just doing this nonstop. I think about I'm putting all of my nest eggs in order. All right, let me get a parchment paper. I'm just getting more parchments. Let's see here. Sharon says, you should make a beta group to test this out, please. Okay, yeah, definitely do that. It's a great idea. Lee says, yes, please do that. We need to think of a big plan for ahead. Okay, I'll do that. Zenzi says, all right, I trust you. Teach me. Got you. And then let's see here. Spoo says, what app do you use to invest? Yes, we need financial help. Great idea. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be a gateway of what to do after eBay. This is a great. I'm glad that we're talking about this because this is something that I do for myself, and I guess it's like I didn't hold it secret, but I guess I did kind of hold it secret, and I need to think about ways. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm being transparent with you, but I'll have a separate thing that I'll build out, and I'll talk more about the coaching of it. Because just like how I could talk about eBay like the back of my hand. I don't need a script. I don't need any of this stuff. Like I'm very transparent. I could talk about the financial part like the back of my hand. Because like I said, I've had over 77 different financial jobs in my life. I was a financial advisor, but also how I was able to take the money from eBay and I was able to flip it. And the flip came from crypto. It didn't come from S&P. S&P is way too slow for me. Those stocks are so old and outdated. Like what invest in? What are you going to invest in? Ford company? I'm going to invest in Nvidia. Those are way too slow. And those things don't trade after 5 p.m. and they don't trade after the weekend. How slow is that? The cool thing about crypto is they trade 24/7 because that's how the world works. The world works so fast. The thing about certain crypto is that instead of using ACH of how they used to wire transfer money, so they will wire transfer of money. Say you tried to wire something after 5 p.m. on a Friday, the bank would hold on to the money on purpose, and then you get your money on Monday. But during that weekend, especially if it's a holiday weekend, you get your money on a Tuesday, right? They hold the money on purpose, so that way they're collecting interest that whole time. It's so old and outdated. It's kind of like hearing people say they read newspapers, right, to get their news or something, or like it's just so old and outdated. There's so much. So what the crypto really does is make sure that money moves in a millisecond. It moves in a millisecond to move large funds. So retail banks. So now if you even read the news, like a lot of the banks are transferring a lot of the banks are already making sure that people are able to use their 401ks and able to use their investments to trade in crypto. Pretty much all the banks are letting you do that now. They're just putting it in place slowly because the Clarity Act is coming any day now, any week. And then that way, you're going to see where all the transition is going to go that way. And that's how the money's going to be moved. Why do you think, check this out, why do you think that gold is hitting an all-time high and silver is hitting an all-time high, but then you don't hear the news talk about it? The news can't talk about it because then it would cause a frantic into the market or where the structure is going. It's not in the dollar anymore. The dollar's dead. It's about to be crypto and gold and silver and metals. But yeah, we could talk more about that. I'm gonna have a separate course for that where I can talk about what you need to do with your winnings, especially in 2026, because this is the time where we're gonna have the biggest transfer of wealth ever in history. So this is the time where you get if you don't get rich now, then you'll be broke forever. This is the time to get rich right now. We're about to have the biggest internet pop than the internet. You know, the biggest iPhone pop bigger than the iPhone. And this is the time to make sure that whatever money that you do have and you put it to the side, those $20, those whatever dollars, you put it to the side so that way you could just have it sitting in the investment anyways. Just have it sit there because then when it pops, you have too many old Wall Street and too many old bankers who are trying to keep things regulated right now. They're trying to keep it down, but you can't keep it down forever. So any day now, when it pops, it's going to be the biggest bull ever in history, and you're going to have millionaires and even billionaires overnight. So you don't want to miss out on that. What app do you use to invest? We can talk about more of that inside the community, but I use separate apps. I use separate apps because I want to have my money diversified on different exchanges, just in case that there's a situation that could happen. Because, like, for example, the power at B is the power at B. They can shut the internet down, and if they shut the internet down, they can shut down certain exchanges. So what does I do is I have my money on certain exchanges, but also I have most of my heavy money on cold wallets where I control the exchange and it's outside of the exchange. So it'll be on the exchange. I extract it from the exchange and I put it onto a cold wallet, which is either Ledger or a Treasure wallet, and it's mine. So that way, if the power structure goes down or anything like that, it comes back up. We're going to be in a super bull market. I can have my crypto that's already there, and boom, I can hit it into the exchange because they can wipe that shit out. That's what Discerning Light said. That's what happened during 9/11. Yep. You know. Deborah says, I just joined, broke through the excuses. That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. You're doing something great for your life. Perfect timing. All right, let's see here. All right, that's what we got. All right, let's see what the next painting is going to be. This one's going to be a buffalo. We're going to do this pretty quick because buffaloes always do well. You know, I always got to do like one or two buffaloes throughout the day. Yeah, most people don't even know what's about to happen. So this is a great conversation to have, and it's really a light bulb for me because I enjoy talking about this, just like I enjoy talking about coaching within eBay. Because, like I said, I have other coaching business as well too, where this is the things that I talk about. So I might as well just transition it within our community. Very simple how to do it from scratch, you know. Because this is the thing, we all come from the generation where they always make this seem like it's rocket science and it's so difficult to invest. A lot of our family, a lot of our parents, a lot of our loved ones growing up, they never invested into the market because they always made it seem like it was so difficult, or it was so only the super rich and the Wall Street do it and it's so corrupt. But now we're in a day and age of technology where it's so simple, and anybody can do it. Everybody has the free app on the apps are free on your phone, and we can all do it. And once I did that for myself, where I started to invest, that's when I started to get rich. And I didn't get rich because of eBay, even though eBay gave me the opportunity. I got rich because of the investments, and I got rich because of taking the savings and being able to flip it onto there. Because we all come from the mindset is like, no, don't do it. You're going to get your money stolen, kind of idea, right? Like we all come from that, but it's not difficult at all. And yeah, I can break that down for you. All right, this is our buffalo. Let's do this. I'm just going to do a blue sky. I mean, we can't work forever, right? And it's okay for us as humans sometimes, especially if we've been working for a long time and however old that we are. Like I've been in the game for a long time. It's okay for us to say, I'm tired of working. It's okay for us to say, I'm tired of working, but only if you put the work in. Sometimes out is the only way in. Remember, we talked about that. The only way out is in. If you're tired of working, or if you ever do feel like that, like, man, I've been working my whole life, I'm tired of working, then you got to work more and earn your freedom out. Do the right thing with your money. Have discipline. It's all about investing back into yourself. Investing back into yourself is having the money that you've earned from eBay, being disciplined, putting money away into four different quarters, separating your profits by into four different quarters, and having and investing back into yourself for your future. Time goes by so quick. The market is already crypto now, and they can't keep it down forever. That is what it is. A lot of people who just watch basic TV or whatever, they think things is just so black and white and it's just so whatever the TV says, oh, it's about this politics and it's about that. It's about money. There is no more wars of bombs and bullets. It's information and how money's being moved. How come the TV isn't telling you that silver went to $110 today per ounce? How come they're not telling you that gold just hit an all-time high of over $5,000 per ounce? When I got into this game of silver and gold 5 years ago, they were selling silver was $20 an ounce. Gold was less than $2,000 an ounce. How come they're not telling you that? Because there is no more bombs and bullets. And then the people who are going to be left out, the brokies, the broke ones, the normies, the ones who they want to keep you as slaves, they want to keep you as slaves because they're not telling you this information. It's no more bombs and bullets. It's wealth transfer. Invest in yourself. I'm going to do this painting and then I'm going to do one last one after this because I did promise you that I was going to do a 16 by 20. So I'm going to do this painting and then I'm going to do the 16 by 20, which is going to be the cubism one because I want to do it. And then after that, we'll call it wraps. They can't control you if you free yourself and you're disciplined and you have your money set up right. You have your money set up right, then how can they control your mind? They only can control your mind because they're not telling you about how to financially free yourself. So anytime I ever talk about investing in yourself, what I always think of when I'm thinking of investing in myself, I mean, of course, the business first to get off the ground, because I can't really invest in my future unless my business is taken care of and I have everything set up for the business first. That's the first thing. Then the next stage, once you have that in formation, is you need to think about your future because you're going to be like, I can't do this forever. And that's where the investments come into play. Don't invest in the market like it's the 1920s, right? Where it's like old Wall Street. That's dead. Money moves too quick now. And when I'm talking about crypto as well, I'm not talking about Bitcoin because that's dinosaur too. That's going out the door. But we could talk more about that inside the money mindset course about what to do with the finances. We could talk a bit more about that. I think that'll be a great course, the money mindset. Only invest in cryptos that actually have utilities behind it. actual purposes of what they do, not just tokenized. Because these are the things that's going to move the world very soon. The Genius Act was passed in last July on crypto. Now the last one is just the Clarity Act, and that's going to happen any day now. And imagine when it pops. Imagine knowing in 2011 when Bitcoin was $20, $10, and you could have had it for $10, $20, and then last year it peaked at $125,000. Imagine missing out on that transfer. There's going to be a quick transfer that's going to be even quicker than that and stronger than that this year. And imagine you hearing about it, and then you're like, man, only if I invested in that. They told me about it. That one guy I used to listen to on YouTube told me all about it. But the TV told me it was too difficult, too much a scam. Yep, Spoosh, you already know. You already know. You already know. That and a few more. That and a few more that are going to be strong utilities. And I mean, and the thing is, there's already been so much of I don't want to say warning, but more of like advice, where it's like which ones to go for. They've already gave advice. They've already put it out there on which ones to invest in. They gave you the green code, and they gave the cheat code out early in the game so people can get it. So it's like the blessing of 2025 is that they had the market sideways, so that way they can have normal people get into it early and invest into it. They gave discounts all year. So now, now the discount time is over with, and then it's going to pop. And then when it pops, it's too late. But they gave people enough time to get the discounts in on it. They're giving people their actual chances to get rich and actually get right. But we'll talk more about that. Put some put some orange stars in here, and that's about it. Make this real quick. Boom. Let me turn this on. And that's it. That works for me. I'm not going to trip anything more off of this. Let me put my hand signature on here and then go on to the next one. Our 20 16 by 20 cubism, whatever it's going to be. All right, look at this painting. Real quick buffalo that we did like 6-7 minutes, right? Put that out there in the market. People love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. All right, let's go on to the cubism. I hope y'all been warm out there. I know it's been frigid. Was it what they said it was going to be this weekend with the whole winter storm? Did people get snowed in? Did the 18 people die so far? Oh my God, that's horrible. I didn't hear about that. Wow, that's unfortunate. See, hearing stuff like that is just like how fortunate that we are that we get to create art. And that we're blessed in our situation to be warm or that our family is safe. Reported on Citizen. Okay. Tori says, nope, was a joke here in Tennessee. Well, for Chattanooga, we got a lot of freezing rain. That did make icy roads. Queen says, it looks great. Thank you. Verdant Garden says, yes, they were accurate for Northeast. 12 inches of snow and still snowing now. Dang, that's crazy. It was a sunny, beautiful day here in LA yesterday. Beautiful. So beautiful. So sunny. Went to the market yesterday. All right, this is our 12 by or 16 by 20, right? And we're just going to add in some basic color in the background so that way I don't have to paint the whole face and I can use parts of whatever the background is as our background color or parts of the face, right? Yeah, if you know what I mean. Beautiful here in LA today, too. Yep, beautiful. It was beautiful yesterday, beautiful today. All right. So look, I just chose a pink color, like a reddish pink. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it. A little bit of white. Let's see here. Wishing everyone in the ice and snow cozy warmth. Stay safe. Definitely stay safe out there. That's so unfortunate. In both my locations, I live in like warm places. So at times I just get like, I don't think about the rest of the country. And it's at times like I'm either in Tampa or in LA. So it's like both those weathers, you kind of forget about what the rest of the country is going through. Let's see here. The Broncos lost. No Super Bowl this year. Bless Arcia says, I gotta go. Have a great day. I appreciate you, Bless Arcia. I don't I don't watch I don't watch, I'm not a sports person. I haven't watched the NFL in years. Sometimes I'll catch a Super Bowl, but not even that. I'm not into it. I know, whatever. I'm not into the bread and circus. I know it's fun for other people, whatever, but I'm not into basketball, I'm not into football, I'm not a sports person. Yeah, I don't even get into the Super Bowl halftime thing. I heard there's a rumor this year that the Super Bowl halftime show they're going to have some guy dressed up as a woman or he's going to wear a dress while he's performing. See, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. Like I don't care whatever side of the political thing I'm not into that. We need to protect women's rights, but let's have men dress up like women. I'm not into that. Let's see here. I don't watch any type of sports. I just the super okay. Let's see. Me either. If someone invited me to watch a live game, I might, but generally I don't follow it. Mary says me neither, but if the Denver Broncos are in the playoffs, I'm in. I live in Colorado Springs. Bad Bunny, he is a centric singer from Puerto Rico. Oh, okay. That's what it is. That's what we call it nowadays, huh? Eccentric. Like we don't know what it is. All right. These people are these like you're not going to be in the industry or whatever position that you're in, an actor or whatever, if you don't get on the red carpet and they tell you that you have to have your political point or you have to dress up like a woman in a dress. We know what it is now. Like, not true. Bad Bunny hasn't dressed up like that in years. Okay. Like I don't, like what I'm. Let's see here. Yep, laugh out loud. He craves attention, but who doesn't these days, right? Like I don't, I don't. That's why I don't even like. I don't. I used to love movies. I don't even like movies no more because I don't need a celebrity to tell me who I'm supposed to vote for or who not to vote for or whatever they feel. Like these people is like it's just too much, and they live in a different world. Like you live behind a gated fence, but you're trying to tell me something. Like I don't. Whatever the halftime show is, I don't need somebody to get up there and be like, "Oh, this is free Palestine or F Trump or this is for I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Like, can I just watch the football? Like, I don't want to be injected in this stuff. People get turned off by it. Like it's people get turned off by it. Bread and circus. That's why I says bread and circus. It's just the Roman Coliseum all over again. I don't want to like just to distract you. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear whatever stuff that they're going to say because I know they're going to say it. And then whatever they say, whatever the wind blows back on, if it blows back too hard, they're going to act like, oh, the NFL is going to step away from it and say, oh, I didn't know that they were going to say this. I didn't know they're political. We had no idea. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Whatever way, whatever the political thing is, they're going to do. They're going to do it, and they're going to try to make a whole stance about it, and it just turns people off. I mean, it's got to be exhausting at this point. I mean, it goes from uh, Black Lives Matter to free Ukraine, free Palestine, LGBT matters, trans matters, Asian matters, free Venezuela. FI, like it's just so every week it's like a new flag. Every week it's a new, just it's exhausting. All right, so let's get straight into this. But that's my personal take on it. I never want to rain on people's fun. If you enjoy it, go enjoy it. I have the 1.5 inch brush that I'm using right now. So it just helps me get through the basic colors pretty quickly, and then I can layer up on it later on if I want to. The best art club says, yeah, it's all a psyop. Exactly. It's a psyop. That's why it's called the Super Bowl. But if you break it up, it's the Superb Owl, and it's always on the one eye CBS because the all seeing eye, the third eye, the all, you know, it's all symbolic. It's all there. They always have it on CBS with the all seeing eye. The superb owl is what I like to call it. The Super Bowl, the superb owl. Break it up. Yes, please leave that like button. If you're in here, you appreciate the channel, you appreciate the paint, what we're talking about. Leave that like. Leave me a super chat, even better. Artists selling on eBay matter. Exactly. I like that one. I'll wear that flag. Give me that one. Like every day, it's something new. Like it's just something new. They're like, oh, um, free the hostages. Okay, the hostages get free. They're still not happy. They're like, oh, women's rights, but at the same time, you want men to be naked in a woman's restroom. Like, which one is it? Which one is it? I don't want to hear it. So you can see with this bigger brush, it's just easier for me to go have the more confident brush strokes, and it looks better. You could tell when you have the bigger brush strokes, and then you get through the paint faster of what you're doing. You don't want to have the smaller paintbrush, especially when you're doing a 14 or 16 by 20. And I don't know what I'm doing, so I choose any color that I want. I don't think much about the color. Yeah, I paint with a palette knife in the past. I like it. It's I paint with a palette knife. It's fun. It's cool. Discerning sight, discerning light says superb owl. I see what you did there. It makes sense and probably by design. Of course it is. It's always by design. It's the superb owl. They know it too. They know it too. They just expect for other people to be normies and for you not to know it. I love doing it like this because then it's like I can always layer on later. So I just always like to blot out the colors as fast as I can with the large brush. But we could always layer on later. So it's like I'm not even trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to get some of the colors there. And people appreciate that better as well too, because it looks like a fresh cubism with the layering later on. Let's see here. Over experimenting with palette. Yeah, the palette knife is nice. Palette knife. It's fun. It's just not it's I don't have nothing bad to say about it. It's just that I'm so stuck in my ways now and I just like to use the brush. But palette knife is cool too because palette knife is kind of similar to how I paint, where you could experiment and whatever happens, happens. And there's no control of it, but it's more loose. You could get more loose with it. And then it's one of those things where it always kind of works out to be what it is anyways. I remember I was just thinking right now in my mind. I remember when I first started doing YouTube like 3 months ago, and I had this video that I painted of a woman, but it was a figurative woman where she was like nude, but she wasn't like nude. You know how I paint, right? It's like it's not like it's a detailed porno, right? It's like an expressionism of a woman figurative and she's nude. And but it was mostly her figure. And it was abstract. I remember someone wrote in the comments, they go, "You shouldn't paint something like that. You're a Christian." And I'm like, "You don't know who I am. And I can paint whatever I want to paint. You need to go to another channel with all those demands." The human body is beautiful. That's why the masters love painting women, because they said that a woman's body is a work of art. It has the curves, it has the figure there. I love painting a woman's body because of the curves, because of the figure, because of the elegance. There's strength and beauty in it. Or maybe I should paint a man dressed up in a dress, right? What do you think? And be like, there's nothing wrong with that. Men's body is beautiful as well. Yeah, it is. And Leonardo da Vinci did a lot of those as well with the studies of men's body, especially if it's like if it's a man's body who's like the ones who are like the Olympians who are in shape with the muscle mass of the anatomy, then that's great. No one wants to paint a fat person, right? Then it's not beautiful no more. It's only beautiful if we're in like modern day 2026 where we can say stuff like that. But the masters didn't paint fat people. It's only now that you have to do it or you have to accept that it's beautiful. No, fat people are fat. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to look unhealthy. During no other time in history. I never heard of that artist, Botello. Peter Paul Rubens painted fat woman, so-called Rubenesque. See, that shows how little I know about art. There's beauty in that as well, though. There's beauty in it because of the figures, because of the curves. Did Rubenesque also paint fat guys? Yeah, I know. Back in the day, the sign of wealth was to be fat and to gorge yourself. Well, one of the things that I talk about in the mat and the mindset is for us to be in shape, for us to take walks, take care of our body, it puts you in a higher mindset and a higher frequency. I don't want anyone here to think it's okay to be obese or overweight and not be healthy and take care of your body so we can all live longer for our family, but also that we can be in a higher frequency of mindset and believe in ourselves. Sally says, I found a reference today of four old ladies standing in the ocean up to their knees, back view. It was very cute. That's amazing. That sounds nice. I like all types of body. It's interesting. It's art. It tells a story. Marilyn Manson. Yeah, Marilyn Manson, she was nice. She was curvaceous. She was like a size, what size was she? I liked her. I liked her figure. She had a great figure. But even when she was in her curvaceous days, would you ever consider her being unhealthy? No. We know what unhealthy looks like. Even when she was in her most curvaceous days, she didn't look unhealthy. In American culture, we know what unhealthy and we know what a McDonald's diet looks like, right? I want to say that they says that she was like a size 8 or 9 or something like that when she was in her curvaceous days, Marilyn Monroe. That's nice. But that's not a McDonald's diet. Healthy. My painting is Marilyn Manson. Oh, Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Man. We went from talking about Marilyn Monroe to Marilyn Manson. My painting is it does look like it. Now I can't unsee it. Dang you. Oh man, my painting does look like Marilyn Manson now. It is the eye. It looks like Marilyn Manson. Hey, that's the funny part about art. Like you never know what it's going to be or what it's going to come to. So it's like it's just one of those things. Now I can't unsee it. Darn it. This is a Marilyn Manson painting. It looks just like him. You see how life turns out that way? God has such a sense of humor. Manso, no, man, yeah, Marilyn Manson. I hope he buys it from you. He's an artist himself. He's a painter himself. I don't think he would buy it, but it'll be a cool painting when we get done with it. That's too funny. Never say never. You're right. Never say never. Well, it wouldn't be directly from me. It'd probably be like from a reseller who would buy it from me or something like that. I'm not going to try to outmarket this one to either. I've done enough celebrity. I've done too much celebrity and art and events in my life where it's like I'm burnt out on that one. I don't have any intentions when it comes to celebrity art and celebrity things. A lot of times what I've learned in the industry, what works best is it's better not to meet these people, to be honest with you. I'd rather whatever my perception is of how I view them now is just better off to leave it that way to meet these people. It's just better. I don't like dealing with celebrities and people, to be honest, like that. It's just better to leave things off because then it's always like it always gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Pause. Yeah, I was gonna say that never meet your heroes, but he's not a hero of mine, so I didn't want to say that quote. But I get what you're saying exactly. I believe in that. I mean, I lived in Hollywood. I mean, I lived in LA for so long, so it's like, I've met a lot of these people. I've been on sets. I've been in that world for so long. So I just know it's always better to distance yourself. It's way better. It's way better to distance yourself and not be around. And I don't want to even say on the standpoint to be like, oh, it's because I don't want to do it because they're bad people. Sometimes it is that where they're bad people, or sometimes because they're really dumb, and you can see how there's no way in the world they could have got successful by a talent or something like that. Most of the times also is because your eye is different. So from you being on the standby, you look at things from a magnifying glass. So you magnify things more than what they actually are sometimes, just because they're a whatever, and you think that you might think that they owe you a time, or they owe, like, you whatever, your mind will play tricks on you sometimes when you meet celebrities where you'll magnify things, and they're human just like you are. So I always put that in my mind. It's like they're just human. And so I just rather not be around them so they can't have a human moment around me. But I'm not into celebrity lifestyle or celebrity worship anyways. I can't stand these people. Discerning Light says, born and raised here 56 years. I definitely get it. Yeah. Corbellic is a star. We all are stars. That's how I be. We're all stars. We're made in the image of the star. So that's how I look at it. We're all stars. We're made in the image of the star. Whatever you can do, I can do. You're no more. You're not special. And I just rather not be around you, so I can't get annoyed to know that you know I I could do better than you, or like these people are, you know. But that's a different topic. Snapchat, good to have you. I'm glad that you're here. Hope you feel better. See, I told you I wanted to close it off with a cool cubism painting, right? I wasn't going to leave you out. Corby makes a promise. Promise is made. Promise is kept. Zenza says, please leave the like button. Exactly. Please leave the like button. If you're in here, you appreciate the painting, you appreciate the gems that we dropped so far. It goes a long way. Leave a super chat if you can to support the channel, support the production. Really goes a long way. Discerning set light says, I'm competitive, but not so I can feel like I'm better than others. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean exactly. I'm that way too. So that's why another reason I don't like to be around these weirdos. I'm competitive, but I'm also competitive where it's like but I've been around this industry so long enough where I've even told people where it's like people think that people are in this industry because they're talented, they're good looking. You see them up person close up close in person, they're not good looking. And then if you ever talk to these people, they're idiots. So really, it's because they're initiated because there's an underbelly world that a lot of people don't know about. And when you're initiated in the underbelly world, you have to do promises and you have to do certain things. So a lot of times, like for example, celebrityism costs a price. If you're a celebrity, you get invited to a red carpet. A lot of times you can't say no. Well, I'm at home chilling. I don't want to go. You have to go. That's part of your contract. Then when you go to the red carpet or you go to the Super Bowl and you're a celebrity, you have the studio or you have the PR that says you have to say this message. What's the message? You have to say, I hate I don't know what are those things? Pro Pala Ukraine LG I whatever. You have to say these things because you're part of the underbelly, and that's what your contract is really paid for. You're not paid for the movie. You're not paid for the music. You're not paid for whatever that stuff is. These people are idiots. You're brought in because they had to test you out, that you were desperate enough, that you were hungry enough, and that you'll when they say sell your soul, that really just means you'll sell out your opportunity of anything just to be famous or whatever, but it comes with a price of you have to whatever. What's the script? What's today's script that I gotta say? Okay, I gotta say this script. That's part of your thing. So once you know that, it's like you may not know it, but you're more free than what these celebrities are. And they couldn't even hold a conversation with you. Yep. Yep. Yeah, y'all get it. Electric just came, Evelyn says, Electric just came back from the winter storm. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this great opportunity to learn this process. I'm happy that you're here, Evelyn. Let's turn the light on. Happy that your electricity came back on. That's a blessing of God. Thank God. Hopefully that you also get the heater on too. So it's like, and then to be a celebrity too in the underworld, they're all part of a fraternity. So it's like a fraternity. They're all part of a fraternity. They're all brothers and sisters, part of a fraternity. So when people ask me, oh, you want to see the Super Bowl? No, I don't want to. I don't want to see the Super Bowl of seeing these celebrities, represent their fraternities. But then tell me like how I should vote and who am I and I'm a bad person and they have security guards and they live behind gates and they're protected by like they live in different worlds. But if that's your thing, then that's your thing. I can't knock it. I'm not knocking it if that's your thing. Nuh-uh, Corbellic, you're wrong. Not my favorite celebrity. Not my favorite celebrity, Corbellic. You're wrong. My favorite celebrity is a good person, and they're a Christian. Okay, it's not for me to tell you any different. Discerning light says they do as they told, or there will be blacklisted. Yeah, so you gotta. That's part of your. Like, imagine being a celebrity, right? And you come out on the red carpet or something like that, or you go to the Oscars and you say that you support a certain politician, right? Or you support a certain president. What would happen to your career? You already know what would happen to your career. They know it too. You'd be done for. You'd be done for quicker than anything. And then these be the same people that be like, "Oh, we're so tolerant. We're so peaceful. We love everybody." But then yeah, let you come out and say something that one of them don't like and be like, "Hey, I support this. I support that." Your career's over with. And they know it. But I'm the good guy. Just don't disagree with me. All right. I'm done with this one. There's so many layers more that I could do, but I won't do. Facts. Check out David Icke's book, The Trap. Yep. So good. Yep. 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 Already know. Bronfman's. Yep. Beautiful. All right. There we go, right there. This was a fun one. I could be adding more layers to this and do more, but you get the gist. Right? I could be doing these all day long. I love doing paintings like this because I could do a blindfold. I mean, I just choose any color that I want. There is no right, there is no wrong. Look, we did this together. We did this together while talking about Hollywood celebrities, secret societies, and fraternities or whatever, right? Like it's cool. And that's what we have right there. So I hope that you were able to enjoy today's live stream, right? We didn't I how many did we do? I think we did like 7 or 8 paintings. Whatever, it is what it is, right? Like we had a good time where it's Monday. Hope that you were able to also paint along, get things going. Look, if you're not already a part of the elite community, then you are missing out on the best community out there because we have everything laid out for you. We have the templates, we have how you could build this up into your eBay store, how you could get started into selling on eBay, but also you have a cool community. Look, the cool community that's also in the chat, these most of these people are already a part of the elite community where they'll be there to assist you, to help you build everything up of whatever process that you're going through. You started off, you're going to be starting off with a 14-day sales activity orientation to start with your listings, to start your account, and then you'll get your first sales before you even know it. All right. So join us, click the link. It's in the chat that's going to be pinned to the top. I hope everybody stays working. Look, invest in yourself, invest in your mindset. All right. That's one of the things that I didn't talk about in this video as well. I guess that could be the closing thing is that not just investing yourself financially, but it's very important to invest in yourself mentally as well. The things that you put into your mindset, the things that you put into your mind about how to believe in yourself. Look, I was able to believe in myself because I invested in my mindset where knowledge is power. I mean, I know it sounds so cliche. My mom used to say that when I was younger, right? Knowledge is power, but it really is because the more that you arm yourself with knowledge, the more that the ones who are trying to take everything away from you, like the powers that be that we were just talking about in this video, they can't take it away from you because you already armed yourself with knowledge. You could be homeless on the street, you could be like whatever, you could be like in the worst situation, but you'll always be able to bounce back because you armed yourself with knowledge. So invest in your knowledge as well, invest in your mindset so that way you can believe in yourself, and that way you can't be scared out of things. A lot of times people are scared out of situations, either if it's business or if it's even propaganda, the world politics, whatever. It doesn't have to, whatever it could be. People are scared out of it because they didn't arm themselves with knowledge. All right. But if you arm yourself with knowledge, you invest in yourself with a mindset, then you can't be shooken off of that stuff. That stuff doesn't even matter to you because you're vibing on your own frequency, and you know that you're going to be on a higher plane than that. And you're not going to be worried and be like, I'm terrified. I can't do anything because the TV told me the world's going to end. What, 10 years ago? All right, it's been 10 years now. The world didn't end. Chill out. Make this money, get to it, or whatever. Stay in your pocket. But I'm going to see you in the next video. I appreciate. Let me see if we got anybody else in here. Yeah, I'm coaching myself. Cool. Very inspiring. Thank you for the 3 hours of creativity. Gosh, it's been 3 hours. That went by so quick. Exactly. That's crazy. All right. Masterpiece. I don't know what to call that masterpiece. Today's lessons. Leave a like if you haven't already on the video. And yeah, I'll check you out. I don't know if I have tomorrow scheduled. I don't know if I have tomorrow scheduled in the morning. I'll let you know. If I'm here, then I'm here. But if I'm not, then I'm not. I'm recording some other stuff. I'm taking care of some other business, just like you should be taking care of some other business. But I'll let you know. If I'm here, cool. If not, cool too. All right. I'll have some other videos and some other stuff to always show for you. Join the community. Don't miss out. I'll see you on the next video.